outlines everything we talked about.
Cool, man. Sounds good.
Let's see. But if I forgot anything, let me know. Going live. You. All right. What is up? realnurture.io. How you feeling? How you doing? How's real estate in general? Jeff Broger here with my co-pilot.
Chris Mueller in the house.
Yes, sir. So got some quick reminders. Make sure that if you guys have not already, I know we have a couple of new people in since the last week, sign up as an affiliate. So that's just a quick reminder right off the bat, because we want to grow this thing, and every new user helps us train the AI database. It helps us to make the updates faster. And speaking of updates, we have a big one on November 1st coming. But with that being said, this has what's called network effects. Every new user has new home buyer and seller leads that will then help to train the AI to make it better for you. So make sure that you are sharing this with people, and we actually give you 25% of their monthly payment to us because we're just that generous. We wanna make sure that it's worth it for you. You get 4 people in, your monthly payment is covered. And if you get 40 people in, now you have some ad spend to even put towards your campaign, and you're literally marketing your real estate business for free. So there's no limit, and it's really powerful. It's really easy. So I'll drop the link to do that. Let me get the affiliate sign up link in the comments here. Stand by. Boom. Okay. Affiliate is in the link, or is in the comments. And now the next reminder, super quick. What we do the last episode, Chris?
Talked about ads, man, and how awesome they are.
Ad tings. Yeah. So we talked about some ads. We talked about Facebook ads and how to use chat marketing to generate leads and grow your real estate brand. And chat marketing is really not just Messenger anymore. ManyChat revealed that pivot in their strategy at the Conversations conference in September. They mentioned that now what we're doing is chat marketing. They're the #1 chat marketing platform because they are now incorporating SMS and email. Now we've beat the dead horse on that enough. We're not going to talk about SMS and email and omni-channel this time around. But the point is that you want to be mobile first. You want to be on the phone, right? So we have some really cool updates coming November 1st. We'll let you know more about that as that draws closer. But with that being said, we talked about not only how to use chat marketing, but how to leverage Facebook ads with chat marketing and combine it all and generate really inexpensive traffic, but then also start conversations. So that was the last one. If you didn't get a chance, go check that one out. And then I want to celebrate some VIPs. So we got a few new peeps in the house. Lindsay Bach, welcome. Cool guy, and stoked to have him on board. And let's see, still got Brett, still got Anthony. Those are some, Anthony's still like early adopter, top performer, super cool guy out in San Diego, EXP agent who he's been able to, like, he left a testimonial months ago. He said he was able to stop doing open houses because of the leads he was generating with our system. And I want to get like a new update on what he's now developed in the last couple months. So let's see who else is really like, I'm going to check moderate the group area. Let's see. We had Bart Ryan, welcome. What's up? Sachin. I haven't been able to connect with Sachin yet, but I think that's how you spell it or you pronounce it. If not, let me know. And then we got Jerry. Welcome, Jerry. Jerry is in Orange County. He actually is a really successful international real estate business where they deal with a lot of Asian buyers in like the Irvine, Orange County area. But then now he has like a new venture that I'm not going to tell you too much about it because he's keeping it a little bit under wraps, but they have launched, they're doing like brand awareness campaigns, and he's starting with Real Nurture, I think either today or yesterday. So welcome, Jerry. Yeah. So last but not least, make sure to subscribe to your concierge. Sometimes, you sneak through the cracks and you try to get by without subscribing to the concierge. It's here to help you. So make sure that if you haven't already, then I'm going to drop the link again. Let's see, here it is. Boom. Purpose of that is when you get stuck, boom, don't send me a personal Facebook message. Message the concierge, because my whole team watches that, and it's through a more official thread, right? We can actually help you out much more effectively, rather than I might not check my personal messenger for 2 days because that's not my business page, right? So make sure to subscribe to the concierge. I just dropped the link. So real quick before we dive in, how's your day, Chris?
Day's going great, man. Super, super awesome. It's cooling down in here in Arizona, so it's not 200 degrees every day. So I can't complain.
Dude, tell them about that car.
Oh, the car. Yeah. So got a whole bunch of new stuff coming for this project I've been working on. It's been a 10-month labor of love. My car blew up Christmas Eve last year, and finally was able to put together the resources. And we've got a 475 horsepower build in the works, and should be wrapped up here in the next month or so.
Yeah, you do. 475 horse. I don't know if any of you have ever been in a car of that caliber, but it's fun. It is super fun. So I'm stoked for you, man. That's really cool. I was telling him a quick story about how I took a 2-hour drive from Flagstaff, Arizona to Phoenix, Arizona when I was in college. I went to Northern Arizona University, and I drove a 425 horsepower WRX that was my friend's down to Flagstaff, or down to Phoenix. It was a 2-hour drive. We got there in 1 hour and 10 minutes. We hit some speeds that were definitely unacceptable as far as the law is concerned, but it's just so fun. It's just such a fun car to drive. So yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm excited for you. All right.
Thank you.
Without further ado, so what we're going to do today is talk about how we can leverage Facebook ads and ManyChat in order to promote a single listing. You know, this is something that a few people had asked, but Brett was definitely following up about it. Like, hey man, I would love a single listing flow. So I built one, and I actually just today updated one for one of our favorite broker clients, Aaron out in Vegas. He's continuing to invest in ad spend budget with us just to test things out, try new things, and really grateful for him for that. So without further ado, let's dive in. We're going to go to Google Chrome. This is the correct one, right? All right. Do you see this, Chris?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So with this right here, we're going to go for the JSON. So what this really started with, guys, was a flow. Let's just click into here. See, ManyChat wants you to do their ads, but I like to do the JSON growth tool, and I'll tell you why. Their ads manager is meant to be extremely simple. It's oversimplified, so it really limits you with a lot of the targeting and the things that you need to do, especially with real estate. For example, with real estate ads, you now need to delineate that they are a special housing category rather than just running a normal ad. And so it's really important that you are able to go into Facebook Ad Manager and do that. Otherwise, your ad will be flagged, and that's not good for your account. If your ad gets flagged too many times in too close of a succession, your whole account gets disabled. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and click Proceed with JSON Growth Tool. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. I mentioned this briefly in the previous video, but what we're going to do now is really dive in on it. So Chris, if I go too fast or too far or any of that, just help me out, slow me down, ask questions, please. Because I want this to be as concise as possible, not drag it out for 1.5 hours. But also I don't want to lose people. And since I did this build, I'll primarily be talking about it, but I want to involve you as much as possible.
100%, man.
And if you're like, dude, you should have done it this way, let me know. Because I literally built this myself today. So let's see, opt-in. So we're going to check out the opt-in message. And let's go, I'm going to shut that. Go to Flow Builder. Boom. All right, so 0 people have gone through this because we literally built it today. And I actually think 1 or 2 have. I definitely tested it, but anyway, I'm in a new browser, So I'm in like an incognito browser, so it might not be showing analytics. But anyway, the JSON growth tool is the traffic source, right? And then it's going into this opt-in message. The reason why it's like this, and it doesn't just go straight into the flow, is because for JSON specifically, you need to get them to click a button in order to confirm their subscription. And I think the reason for that is because it's circumventing the get started screen. And if you know what I mean by that, normally when you'd click a messenger link, like a ref URL, it brings up a blank screen. And then at the very bottom, it says get started. Well, the problem with that is a lot of people will be like, oh, I clicked this link and it brought me to nowhere. I once spent like $100 in ads for a lead magnet and the whole funnel was working, but I didn't realize that people were getting stuck on the get started screen because they didn't notice that it said get started at the bottom. So the way to circumvent that is to use JSON. And what JSON does is ManyChat creates code in JavaScript to show people on their phone this first message as a real message before they even subscribe, right? Like they click off of the Facebook ad and go over to Messenger. And then guess what? Bam, they see this, not a blank screen that says get started. So there's a lot of value in that. And with that being said, I like to do this where they say, I'm not a robot. Because with all of the like reCAPTCHA forms out there today on sign-ins, people are really used to this. It's normal for human beings to now confirm they're not robots, which is kind of ridiculous. But now with this welcome message, it's a very easy opt-in. They almost don't even know they're opting in, but they do know that they're taking an action. So it's like, please confirm you're not a robot. They click the button. Cool. Well, what that does is it adds a tag. So the tag is tagging them based on source. So I would recommend this, guys. Manuel, our guy out in Germany helping us with AI and everything, he just recommended that we do specific tagging structures. So that's part of the overhaul of the updates that we're doing between now and November 1st. And this is one of them. So this is a source tag. Facebook, JSON is the growth tool, the name of the growth tool, and then the date. So now we know exactly how this person came in. And I did it this way where it automatically continued after the message was served, because if the first thing that a JSON needs to see is a message with a button. So if you went straight to the action, I figured that, and I think I remembered from the past that it messes it up. I could be wrong on that, but I think I've done that before because I like to go straight to an action normally. But what I've found is that a lot of times that will get an error message on JSON. Have you found that, Chris, or have you run much of this?
I haven't run into that too much, but I did want to touch on just real quick too. So for the people that aren't super familiar with like the back end of how this whole process works, right? So the Facebook terms of service, that's what's dictating all of this. They're saying that you can't just go from a link and go directly into a bot and have a conversation. What you're starting to see now more and more is with those SMS, like Gary Vee is doing stuff where he says, text me. And once you text him, it opts you in to a chatbot. So there has to be that initial of, I guess gateway is the terminology that I would use. But what you're doing with these JSONs is exactly what you said. Like you're bypassing that kind of like blank canvas that people aren't familiar with. And for those of you guys that haven't ever seen that, the get started button and where he's talking like all that blank space, when you've never been opted into a messenger bot, there's a lot of just blank real estate. And at the very bottom, you don't know to look to scroll all the way to the bottom to see this little tiny button that says get started.
Right.
If they don't click that, they do not get into your bot. They cannot enjoy the experience. So there always is going to be that gateway, which is kind of like a secondary opt-in. Even for like SMS texting, you have to do the secondary. Yes, I have your phone number, but do I also have permission to then send you this content? Right. So just because you clicked the link doesn't mean I have permission to then send you content. That's what that starting step actually does. And that again is just based on the way that Facebook wants us to play in their sandbox. So for those of you guys that don't know, like that's kind of like a brief rundown of that whole concept.
Nice. I love that explanation because yeah, we that's what we're doing is we're staying in compliance with what Facebook and with what SMS regulations are. but we also want to make it a smooth experience for the end user and not have them get hung up on a simple opt-in when they really did want what you were offering. So with that being said, we got the JSON growth tool. It's going to this opt-in message, and then it's tagging them. It's actually triggering a zap, which we're not going to get into that because that is specific for this client where I do deep data analytics, and I actually send it out to a third party, really cool like analytics tool. We don't need to worry about that. You guys will have plenty of the data that you need within ManyChat. I do everything for him and deliver it in a cleaner version where he can just read it super quick in 10 seconds and then move on, but you guys are going to actually be working in ManyChat, so we can just focus on this. So now we're into the heart of it, right? This is the actual flow that we want the user to see. Oh, see, it did send to one. I don't know why the opt-in, it didn't fire on the JSON side, but this has sent to one. We just started this ad today, like in the afternoon. So it's just starting to get some traffic, but maybe it'll load these photos. I don't know why it's not loading the photos. They're not that big. Oh, maybe I'll refresh. I promise there's photos there. So it was actually super cool. I'm just going to preview it and hopefully it works. Let's open it in Messenger, continue. Okay, cool. Boom. So this is a real listing in Las Vegas today that's active. So I requested from the client to have them send me MLS photos without the watermarks on them, without the like MLS tag number on them. So they were super clean. It shows, different areas. I manually wrote in a little like back patio and put the address on the top line for all these: living room, dining room, kitchen, bedroom, bedroom 2, master bedroom, bath, walk-in closet, right? And now check this out. Underneath all of them, you see the little property website button. And then on the first one, there's not only property website, but also call now and virtual tour. I could have actually done that on all of them. There's 3 menu options on all of them, but check this out. This is something that Aaron does for every listing that he gets. He creates a custom branded website specific for this house, which is pretty awesome. And then he also has a virtual tour that is created. It has like a bird's eye view of the house, and you can click into it and stuff like this. So he creates a pretty cool experience, and we can now leverage all those assets in Messenger, right? And I would like to actually show it on the mobile if I can. So real quick, while I bring that up, do you have anything that you want to touch on, Chris?
No, I think you're doing a great job of just kind of creating that experience for the customer, right? So when they come from the ad, they want to see pictures. They want to know, okay, where is this? And then, making it easy is the end objective. You want to make sure that it's a seamless process that goes from A to B, that gets the client from the Facebook ad into the house, seeing the entire experience. And obviously, Aaron goes above and beyond by creating the website link and things like that, which allows the user to go back onto the internet and see more of this specific house. But again, if it was just the chatbot alone and it wasn't the virtual tour or the property website, you're creating an experience where the people get to see all of those different pictures instead of having to go to a clunky MLS listing or, those websites where it's maybe not as clean. And I've seen some of the pictures on those sites. They don't look as good as those pictures there. So by having clean, awesome images, you're setting the tone and creating an amazing experience that people, they don't really need to go anywhere else. So those buttons are kind of like a secondary awesomeness. And, maybe the CTA just needs to be call me now. And that's what you need to do for every single one. But that's great. Like it's really cool to see that it's so clean, because there's a lot of places that are not.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. And I think so too. I think it came out really great. And I did want to create an experience for the end user. So now let's check the virtual tour on the phone and just see how it sounds. Let's see. Oh, it ended let me bring it back up. Screen sharing. It did bring up the virtual tour, but then it gave me like an error message through Zoom. So let's see if I can stream a virtual tour.
There you go.
There you go. It's 2019, guys. I'm streaming a virtual tour of a home to you guys from my phone through Zoom through the interwebs. This is crazy. But look at this. This is on the phone. Like this is I'm like, oh yeah, let's check out this little bathroom. You know what I mean? Like people, you could be on your couch with your wife, hanging out, just watching football or whatever, and like, oh hey, do you like this place? And oh, what if I could go to the other side of the room? What's on the other end? Well, let's see. Oh, look at that. That's where that fireplace is, right? Let's go back downstairs. What's over here? So once again, like Aaron Taylor, he's a top 1% broker out in Las Vegas. He has larger budgets than a lot of individual agents that would be on this system, but this sets the bar high for you guys. This is a cool experience that can be created for even non-luxury listings, because this is a $500,000 or $600,000 home in Vegas. It's not like some $5 million home in Beverly Hills where you have to think, oh, that's only for luxury stuff. So I really like how Aaron's super resourceful. He deals in volume, but he also deals with decent price points and everything. So with that being said, you've seen the front end of it. Now what I want to show you is a follow-up message that I already had pre-designed to follow up 5 minutes after. So you see it says, we would love to show you this home. What is the best number to reach you so we can schedule a time to go see it? So I'm assuming that they want to see it, right? It's a bit of an assumptive sale. And with this particular Facebook account, I don't have a phone number linked. Otherwise, it would show up right here. But in this case, I'm going to put in my phone number. Let's say you got the result you were looking for. And here it is, that second opt-in. Do you give us permission to contact you through the phone number you provided with personal and marketing related material? Yes, I agree. Boom. Awesome. We'll be in touch. And so that then lets Aaron know. We can instantly sync it with the CRM. So let's now hop back into ManyChat. So what that looks like, we got the gallery photos here, which once again, I don't know why they're not loading. Actually, I'll show you guys a little magic button. Let's go to refresh and just see if that does anything. So before you contact us on the support line, make sure to hit that button. Okay, now let's go to growth tools. Let's go to JSON, proceed with JSON growth tool. Boom, boom, boom. Open this flow and still not loading. Okay, so what I did is I had an automatic, what is it? Automatic continue. Yeah, automatically continue. And then it went to this 5-minute delay, which is a little smart delay. Gather the phone, right? What we want to do here is wait, follow up, gather the phone, get free text input, free keyboard input. And that I did the free keyboard rather than phone. Let's see here. Let's see which one I chose. Did I choose the phone? Oh yeah, I did. Okay. So this formats it as the phone. So if you guys didn't know, when you go to reply type, you can do plain text, email, phone. If you do the email or phone, it'll preload it from Facebook if they've already put it in there. So that's really key. And then, does the phone have any value? Yes. If not, no worries. When's a good time? I still want to continue the conversation, right? And then that's where like a manual admin notify would be done, right? Something like that, where we would notify the admin, hey, this person is still interacting, but they didn't give the phone number. And then right here, here's that permission for the double opt-in. So now you've seen the front end. Let's go to the Facebook ads side. Well, real quick, Chris, do you have anything on that you want to touch on?
Just two things. So first, you touched on earlier how, people, they're saving themselves time. And one of your clients doesn't even need to do an open house anymore because the ads are performing so well. So because the ads are performing at such a high level, he doesn't have to do open houses. Think about that from the reverse perspective. These people can now view the entire house in a virtual tour. They can see it multiple times. They can see it at the convenience that they want in their pajamas on their couch, and they can get not the same exact experience, but a pretty darn close experience. So it's going to be less time consumed by the agent, because now these people are getting the experience that they want. Maybe they've already seen the house and they just want to see it one more time and they just didn't take good pictures. This delivers them that experience where they can go through it over and over again. So I wanted to touch on that because that's saving time for everybody, which is exactly what we're looking to do at the end of the day, is make everyone's experience easier, better, more enjoyable. And then the second thing is, you did bring it up, but just to clarify for people in case they did miss that no variation in the chat, make sure you do have that conversation going to notify somebody so that it doesn't just end. You don't want the bot to just kind of drop people off and then say, awesome, like that's it. So that's something that we will have wrapped up, and I'm sure that's just what's coming. But so people know in the future, always make sure that your bot, and this is something that I learned, you never want it to end. You always want it to be like a perpetuated loop. So even if that flow is done and they've seen the house, they've seen the ads, they've seen all these different things, have that bot connect to the next message, which should be your main menu, that shows them more content so they consume a lot more details. They're always getting more value from you, and it never ends. So they're not just like, okay, the ad stopped, this house is over, I don't ever hear from this guy again. Maybe I'm put into the nurture sequence and they're still following up with me, but give them the option, just kind of like Netflix. There's too many options for them to choose, but you don't stop. They stop when they want to, and they can always come back to something that's waiting for them.
Yeah, totally. I like how you said that, where the main menu will be incorporated, because that's a part of the big update that we're doing on November 1st, where everything's going to point back to a main menu. Not only the AI, but also just the bot once it does finish and resolve the conversation. So that'll be kind of the go-to. And then also in this particular case, you just want to make sure not to kind of leave them hanging. So, with that being said, notify an admin, give them something else to do. And isn't it true that people are already doing way more research prior to buying or selling a house? I mean, compare this to like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. The realtor had all the information. People had to just find a realtor, call them, go to their office, sit down, have a conversation, drive around, see houses. They had no idea what was on the MLS. They just had to wait for the email updates. That's the thing in the past. Now people are doing so much research personally prior to showing up. So you, with your brand, might as well have a presence that allows them to do that research and have it be branded to you, and have it have your Facebook brand icon next to your Facebook Messenger page at the top left as they're scrolling and looking at this tour and doing all this stuff. So that's our philosophy with it, is you might as well create an experience because people are going to seek it out whether you have it or not. So what I want to show now as the back end is going through the JSON part of it. So what we would do in this particular case is we would go back to the growth tool. So the difference is that like growth tools is where you would go new growth tool and then pick JSON, right? Facebook ads JSON. What that does is that it then creates a flow. So if we go to proceed with JSON growth tool, hang on one second, guys. I got a dog that is whining so much.
So guys, while he's taking care of that, one thing too, Jeff mentioned a little while ago that there's this really awesome way that you can get branding, and you can have the Apple Wallet where it's storing something inside the Apple Wallet for this bot, right? And then that can get them to connect with things. So that's something that's coming. Think about what the application of this could be in that same stance. So instead of it just being your brand and having your brand in the Apple Wallet, now think about having your brand and this specific listing in the Apple Wallet. So that client can go back and see this house listing in their Apple Wallet, and they can see that as many times as they want. And they have a go back to that's not just in Messenger. So that's another avenue that we can do that's more branding, more awareness, more omnipresence by creating that listing now inside the Apple Wallet. So that's another option that we might be able to come up with too. So if you think that's pretty cool, go ahead and put hashtag make this happen.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you filling that time and talking about, the omni-channel presence in the Apple Wallet. Like those are big things. And, we can have that as far as like future updates, and to do it for a single listing would be pretty sexy. I like that. So what if, what if that's our ticket to get in the open house? That'd be cool. So right here, we're now in the JSON area. So we talked about like widgets and then the difference between that and a flow. Now, when I click this, it goes to a flow, right? So now we're like over here in this area, and I went to flows and then went to the STEEZY.Digital and the opt-in and all that. So I want to just differentiate between the two. We have this JSON growth tool. And what happens is when you go create that opt-in message, see it's the same, please confirm you're not a robot. It kind of gives you a preview. Now, if you go to setup, check that out. It now has coded what that looks like on the back end. So now you hit copy. And when you go over to Facebook, you choose messages objective. So if I go into here, messages, I like to be really organized. Messages, single listing, the address. That's the campaign. Make sure to hit this and click housing. That's the new recent update based on Facebook ads. I like to do campaign budget optimization. That means you can have multiple ad sets and multiple ads, but what it'll do is it will only spend $50 max as a daily budget and then divvy it based on which ads are performing best. So it's a pretty cool tool. And then right here, if you go to this one, targeting has gotten much less narrow over time. But what I'm doing for this particular one, based on new Facebook ad updates, is the Summerlin area, which is West Las Vegas, plus 15 miles, which is now the minimum. You can't go any lower than that. And then I did no detailed targeting, right? So what you can do is zero targeting, which is what this is called, and let the Facebook algorithm figure it out. Or you can suggest like, people interested in Zillow and Redfin, and you can do things like that too. So I'm doing zero targeting for this one just to see how well Facebook recognizes the ad copy and delivers it to the right people. But that's part of then optimizing, is you want to check the results and be like, okay, let's change some things. Let's tweak the audience. Let's, change this. So with that, let's go close over here. This is the virtual tour. Yeah, go for it.
While you're jumping into that, guys, I know some of you guys may have seen that budget, $50 a day, and you're thinking either A, that's not a lot, cool. Some of you guys may be thinking the opposite. You may be thinking that's out of my budget. Like I don't have $50 a day to be running. I want you to think about what Jeff was just talking about, right? Like we're targeting 1.6 million people with that specific ad set. And you have to think about what that dollar is going to get you in that specific audience. So no matter what your budget is, no matter what your audience is, they need to be co-aligning to make sure that you're not just, wasting your ad spend, because it's very competitive, especially in these narrowed down targets. They're making it very ambiguous for a reason, protecting the end user. But at the same token, like you need to be respectful of what you're attempting to go for. So what I have found in my research and what we've been doing is $20 a day is a really good cutoff for Facebook's algorithm to be optimized for you. And that's just like kind of the low entry point that I've seen to get really good optimization, to not be struggling with your ad spend dollars, and to not feel like you're wasting, spending like $5 here and there and not really getting results, right? Because you're not getting enough traction. You're not allowing Facebook algorithm to take hold. You're not going to be able to push it long enough and things like that. So you want to think about what is your overall 30-day objective. And then you want to give yourself a good budget and commit to that. And like I said, $20 is a good starting point. $33 per day is going to get you about $1,000 a month. If you go for 2 weeks on, that's about $500. So think about that in your budgeting, but also notice that the audience was 1.6 million. So if you're getting a cost per milli, which means what does it cost for you to be in front of 1,000 people, and you're averaging anywhere between $18 to $35 is kind of the norm. If you're doing $35 per day, that means you're going to be in front of 1,000 people per day. So with a target audience of 1.6 million, you're never going to reach the entirety of that audience with a budget less than that $36 if you're doing it for a very short window. So think about all that stuff in your considerations. And I just wanted you guys to kind of see that if you were taken back or shocked by that $50, or just curious what that looks like in the targeting.
Yeah, great point. I think that $20 a day is the minimum. And I've tested it with clients who are like, what can $5 a day get me? And I have one that tried like $2 a day. She was like, my ad budget's $60. I was like, well, we can try it. Didn't work. So, 20 bucks a day, we've gotten some good results. That's 600 bucks a month. And what that looks like then is you actually get some decent optimization as things run throughout the month. But 50 bucks a day, that's 1,500 bucks a month. So, that's a pretty solid ad budget. Some of the top brokers that we work with spend more, but that's just for one campaign, right? This is just one campaign. So with that being said, we're back here on the ad level. So we went from campaign to ad set to ad. Now we're gonna go edit. And here's the key, guys. We got the ad copy. You can test whatever you want. And again, this stuff, like the imagery, I already tested this virtual tour thing, which I think will catch some eyes. But also now, if we go here, this other one is the carousel images. Just boom, boom, boom. It's more standard. And either way, this is the key. You go to Messenger Setup, because this is a messages objective. And what you do is create new. You go to Advanced JSON, edit. And now you'd go in here and you'd go to the very, very top one, and it says empty. And then you go boom, like that. Because I already copied it from ManyChat, and there's the preview. So that's how you do this advanced JSON growth tool to get people from a Facebook ad into a specific flow onto Messenger. What do you think, Chris? Are you still there?
Yeah, love it.
Nice. I'm just gonna close all those so that I make sure not to mess up this campaign. So let's see if we have any questions.
Not seeing anything.
Okay.
We've over delivered again. So much value. There's no questions.
Once again. Let's see. All right, cool. Well, looks like we're good. I know that a lot of people are going to catch us on replay. So if you have questions on the replay, don't hesitate. Just let us know in the comments below, and we check it throughout the week so we can get back to you. But hope this had value. And with that, I'm going to send it off. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being a part of this. And with that being said, we will see you next week, 6 p.m. Pacific time for another hot seat.